Hello and welcome to your Mental Wellness Pod, a channel where we explore evidence-based strategies to support your mental health and emotional well-being. Here, science and faith also meet as we sometimes incorporate biblical concepts alongside clinical principles. My name is Scholastica Asacho, a social work practitioner and psychotherapist. I am also the owner of SA Counseling Services, a private practice based in London, Ontario, Canada. April is National Stress Awareness Month, a time dedicated to increasing public awareness of the causes and effects of stress. The goal is also to highlight how stress can impact mental, emotional, and physical health while encouraging the development of healthy coping strategies. In simple terms, stress is a natural response to threats, challenges, perceived demands, or pressure that prompts action. However, when stress becomes chronic, unmanaged, or unregulated, it can negatively impact both physical and mental health. A wide range of situations and life events can trigger stress. This may include experiences that are new or unexpected and that challenge an individual's sense of stability, as well as circumstances in which a person perceives limited control over the environment. The key is developing the ability to cope with unmanaged stress effectively when it arises. Common effects of prolonged stress include increased anxiety, persistent worry, rumination, mood changes, irritability, difficulties with concentration, and memory impairment. It may also contribute to sleep disturbances and fatigue, as well as somatic symptoms such as muscle tension, headaches, gastrointestinal distress. In addition, prolonged stress can increase the risk of burnout and emotional exhaustion. Stress management involves the use of various techniques and coping strategies to regulate overall stress levels and improve an individual's response to stressors in daily life. It is important to recognize that stress cannot be entirely avoided. However, it can be managed to prevent it from becoming overwhelming or adversely affecting health. An individual's capacity to cope with stress may be influenced by factors such as genetics, early life experiences, including adverse childhood experiences, age, personality traits, and social and economic circumstances. As a result, responses to stress can vary significantly between individuals. Here are some strategies that can be used to manage stress. Cognitive awareness. Awareness is the first intervention. It can reduce emotional overload and increase a sense of control. Identify your stressors and notice automatic thoughts, patterns that may be contributing to distress. I often remind my clients that naming your pain is an important first step towards recovery. Regulate your nervous system. Engage in the following practices daily. Take 4 to 6 slow, deep breaths several times throughout the day, particularly during moments of fatigue, overwhelm, or pressure. For example, inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. This supports physiological regulation. Incorporate a 10-minute walk without distractions. This may be done around your building, during lunch breaks, or at a time that is most practical to you. Engage in daily relaxation or grounding exercise, ideally as part of a routine or at the end of the day. In my clinical practice, I often encourage the use of 5 senses to support grounding. An example of this can be found in our book, Abigail and Friends. I also encourage clients to use the calm place technique before bedtime and to utilize a container exercise for unprocessed thoughts. This can support emotional containment and regulation. These are commonly used EMDR resources in therapy. Behavioral health foundations. Prioritize core behavioral health factors, including sleep hygiene, balanced nutrition, regular physical activity, and a consistent daily routine. These foundational elements play a significant role in supporting overall mental and physical well-being. For further information, you may refer to my previous videos on the importance of physical activity for mental health, as well as the importance of scheduling, both of which expand on behavioral health foundations. Social support and strengthening protective factors. Evidence-based research consistently demonstrates that healthy social connections act as a buffer against stress and enhances resilience. Establishing and maintaining safe, supportive relationships can reduce feelings of isolation and improve emotional well-being. Engagement within the community can also be therapeutic. Healing often occurs in relational and social contexts. Participation in clubs, cause, or group activity may help expand social networks and encourage engagement in new experiences. Additionally, volunteering can offer a shift in perspective and has been shown to have positive impact on your mood and overall well-being. Boundaries and load management. Reduce overcommitment and practice realistic workload pacing. It is important to avoid overextending yourself and to say no when you are unable to meet certain demands. Limit engagement in activities or relationships that consistently contribute to increased stress or emotional burden. Not every request requires an immediate yes. Setting clear boundaries is an intentional way to protect your time, energy, and overall well-being. Reframe your thoughts. Reflect on your internal dialogue. What am I telling myself about the situation? Is this thought helpful, accurate, or does it contribute to unnecessary distress? Cognitive reframing involves identifying and challenging unhelpful thinking patterns such as overgeneralizing, catastrophizing, or emotional reasoning. These thoughts can be exploited and restructured using cognitive behavioral strategies, often supported through reflective journaling. Journaling can serve both as a processing tool and a form of self-reflection. In addition, incorporating gratitude journaling, actively noting positive aspects of your day, can support emotional well-being. Research suggests that recognizing and expressing gratitude is associated with a range of physiological and psychological benefits. In my practice, I often recommend maintaining 2 journals, one for processing thoughts and experiences, and another specifically for gratitude practice. Christ-centered approach to managing stress. As a Christian psychotherapist, I am mindful that emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being are closely interconnected. Life is very spiritual, and for many individuals, spiritual grounding can provide comfort, meaning, and a sense of peace during period of stress. Engaging with scripture and spiritual practices is helpful in supporting emotional regulation and resilience. For example, Philippians 4:6 encourages Christians not to be anxious, but in everything, through prayer and thanksgiving, to present their requests to God. 1 Peter 5:7 also states that cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Supporting spiritual practices may include daily prayer, reading and meditating on scripture, participating in Bible study or fellowship groups, and regular attendance at a Bible-believing church. Philippians 4:7 speaks of peace that surpasses all understanding. And 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. For many believers, daily reflective engagement with these teachings can support emotional grounding and reduce perceived stress. Seeking professional help. It is important to seek support sooner rather than later. When experiencing prolonged or chronic stress, accessing help from a qualified mental health professional is an appropriate and evidence-based step towards recovery. Stress management is most effective when approached as a multidimensional approach, addressing cognitive, physiological, behavioral, social, and in some cases, spiritual factors. As a gentle reminder, during Stress Awareness Month this April, take time to assess your stress levels and intentionally implement small, sustainable changes as discussed. Don't forget to order a copy of Abigail and Friends, a storybook that introduces children to mental health in a simple, relatable, and engaging way. It is a valuable resource for caregivers, teachers, and mental health professionals. Many adults have also shared that it has helped them better understand mental health challenges. If you find it difficult to understand how mental health challenges affect your well-being, this book is a great place to start. It is available on Amazon and the link is below. The French version is also available and an excellent and educational way to practice your French. If you found this video helpful, please give the video a thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more mental health insight and evidence-based practical tips to support your well-being. Feel free to send me a private message if you have any questions about your mental health. And finally, don't hesitate to seek professional support if you are struggling. You deserve help and do not have to navigate this alone. Take care and be well.